That's an interview of Mr. Pople, a pioneer of Gumine in politics. He's the first member of Gumine. We're very fortunate to have him here, and we are very thankful. The interview is taking place at Wayne Hotel, Port Moresby, on the 20th of October 2006 at 11 o'clock.
Well, this was a bit of a shock to me coming out of the blue, and I'm not prepared for it. You must remember when I first went to Gumine, it was 1963, which is now 43 years ago, which makes it a bit difficult for me to recall it exactly. My name's Gumine Pople. I was born at Armidale in New South Wales, 14th of March 1935. I first came to Papua New Guinea on the 4th of March 1956, which is 50 years ago, and I was nationalised as a citizen of this country in July 1976, the year after independence. When I first went to Gumine, as a result of a posting with the government. I'd been given 7.5 months leave, and I'd got tired of being in Australia, so I came back 4 months early and ran into the district officer then for the Eastern Highlands province, of which Timber was then a part, a bloke called Orm Matheson. He asked me what I was doing back, and I said I was sick and tired of being in Australia, and I'd come back home to spend a bit of time looking around in Papua New Guinea. He said, well, are you prepared to take up duty straight away? I said, yeah, okay. I'm quite happy to get back to work. He said, well, we have no one at Gumine. We'd like you to go to Gumine and take over the station. So this was around about February 1963, and I went to Hanganolf. He picked up my belongings and went to Gumine. At that stage, you couldn't drive to Gumine. You could only drive part way because the Moral Bridge was out of commission. So I went to Onkalai, landed in Onkalai, and had all my cargo carried across to Gumine. I'm sorry about this, but it's an important business call I'll have to answer. Hello. What was I saying again? So I went to Gumine, walked across from Pople. I did that trip many times on foot, and took up residence in the recently built permanent materials house at Gumine. I then met all the government employees and gradually learned more about the place. I could see that one of the main items that I had to deal with was law and order, because there'd been no key up there for a couple of months and things were not going quite as they were. Fortunately, we had quite a good police detachment there, and we were able to get things going again. My next priority was to get the bridge open. Sorry again. To get the bridge open across the Moral River. PWD was... Hello? So PWD were most cooperative. They sent a road builder out, and he built a very good bridge across the Moral River. It was all timber, and then we did up the road on the other side, the road up through Durham and down to Gumine. And then I looked at the other connection through the salt area. So we did up that road, eventually built another bridge across the Wagi Valley. When I say I did, I was just the motivator. All the work was done by the Gumine people themselves, and they did a marvellous job. We then decided to open up the area beyond Derry. So we started road building again up to Kulai, and what's there, was really dodgy, I've forgotten it now. And eventually we got the road down, well eventually the road went as far as Namani. When I initially went there, I was down the key up there, and I was very fond of patrolling. I spent a lot of time patrolling out on roadworks and doing court matters, and it was just getting too much. So the government and its wisdom sent another two patrol officers to help me. One was Papua New Guinea citizen, a bloke called Noel Levy, and the other one was John Beltras. The three of us worked together at Gumine all through 1993, or most of 1993. Our district officer in Chimbu, Laurie Doolan, was extremely helpful and did whatever he could to help our work at Gumine. At this time, 1993, 1963, there was a lot of talk about the forthcoming House of Assembly, and Noel and John did a lot of work going out and talking to the people about what this would mean to them. I also used to go out and talk to people, but not much about politics. As we came towards February 1964, the people didn't have a candidate they wanted to put up. The only one who was talking about it was Ninkama Bomo from the Mole area. And the people were not happy and they wanted another candidate. But they said that this is something new. It's not a long time since Gumine was opened, and we don't really understand too much about it. And they said, would you stand? So I said, well, I shouldn't really, but why? And they said, well, we'll watch you for 4 years and see what goes on, and then one of us will be prepared to take over. I said, okay, well, I will stand, but on the very clear understanding that after the 4 years I will not stand again. So you will have to have your own candidate then. They agreed with this, and the people from Boromore offered me a small block of land on which I could settle. The main man from Boromore who arranged everything for me was a lovely old man called Gumine, and he was assisted by another elder called Kuman. So I went and built a house in Boromore. Suddenly I found that the money that had been going into my cheque account every fortnight stopped going in because I had resigned naturally. So I decided I'd have to do something. So I started growing veggies and selling them in Goroka. Boromore was an excellent place for veggies. They grew very, very well there. And then I started buying coffee because there was a lot of coffee being grown further down the hill from Boromore. No one was buying it. So then I became involved in the Chimbu coffee factory as a buyer for them. Managed to keep the family fed and buy the occasional beer. Starting to run out of ideas now. I enjoyed my time at Gumine. I respected the people, and I think the fact that I respected them meant that they also respected me. I treated them as individuals, and I'm still very fond of Gumine. I haven't been back there. My children keep me informed as to what's going on back there. I keep in contact with quite a few people from up there, like John Norcota, for example, and Jonathan, the lawyer. I see him virtually 3 or 4 times a week. Right, well, I noticed that they've given me a list here. When I first went there, the Pople airstrip was open and working. and this was our contact with the outside world before the Murrell Bridge was built. I remember one incident when I was required to go into Goroka for some purpose or other. Goroka still being our headquarters at that stage. I walked across from Gumine to Pople, which took about an hour, every day for 7 days. Walked back every afternoon until the plane finally came in and picked me up. I was not a very happy lad, but that was part of the job.
How did you take it as walking from one place to another?
Well, it had to be done. There was no other way of doing it, so we did it.
Yeah.
Were there any escorts with you? Like any carriers?
Oh, there'd be my a bloke called Val, who worked as my personal servant, used to come with me to carry my bag.
Bye.
Yeah, he came from the Upper Murrell River area.
Yuri.
Peter. Yeah, most exhilarating, exciting experience. After the Murrell Bridge was open, I was coming back from Kondiar with a load of trade goods for the store. I was driving from the Murrell up towards Dirama, and there's a couple of very tight turns where, in a short wheelbase Land Rover.
Past Murrell Bridge.
Yeah.
Menegone.
Yeah. And going up the hill there, you had to back and fill. I put my foot on the brake and suddenly there was no brake. So we started to go backwards at a fast rate of knots. I looked down and I could see the Murrell River a fair way below me. It was a horrifying experience. Fortunately, the weight of the cargo and the wheel lock I had on was sufficient to pull the car around so that it banged into the cutting, the wall of the cutting. That was quite scary, I can assure you. What had happened was the lead to the brakes, the pipe, or not the pipe so much as the plastic thing, had just blown out, so there was no brake.
You should have died that time if you.
Oh yes. What about the other people who were in the car with me? They couldn't have died too.
Yeah.
We were lucky. Went up and told the good father at Dirama, and he said, "Oh yes, we were praying for you."
Who was the father at that time?
Sorry, can't remember.
Hubert Pouch? Father Hubert Pouch?
Yes, probably. He was there about that time. They were both Germans.
German?
Yeah.
Yeah, Father Hubert Pouch.
Yeah. Well, they've given me hints to talk about. We didn't have an official post office, but the sub-district office also ran the post office and the bank. And, we supervised the clinic and did what we did to help the schools. I don't know.
Have you had any dangerous moments, some difficulties?
Any encounters with the natives?
Natives, yeah.
Oh, no. There was never any problem. There was an occasional tribal fight, and I used to walk through the middle of it to try and stop it. There was a fight up at Pople once, when I was living up there. And I did everything I could to stop it, but they were just all fired up. Just kept on going, but they never touched me, never hurt me, apart from pushing me out of the way so they could get at someone else. But that was... Can't even remember the reason for the fight now. I'm running out of ideas, you'll have to prompt me.
Yes.
How, when you your wife, I mean, marriage ceremony. Were you involved in a traditional marriage ceremony or?
No, no. It was almost an informal relationship. Bride price was paid, and that was about it.
How much did you pay that time?
60, I think it would have been 200
Pounds.
dollars. It was equivalent to £100.
So,
It was all paid in 10-cent pieces.
so you married to a local
Yeah.
woman. Okay.
She was a 7-day, and as apprenticing 7 days, there was no formal ceremony, which I wasn't in favour of in any case.
And you have any kids with your wife?
Yes. 4.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, I'm still in contact with the whole lot of them, and the grandkids.
I saw two. Nick Kuman's wife and Otto Sine's wife. Two prominent guys in Gumine. The other one is the human resource manager for Kundiawa, and the other one is the current member, Nick Kuman. The two I don't know.
Well, one's living in Australia. You don't know Grace.
No.
You don't know Paul. No. They both live here in Moresby. And I said, the oldest son went to Australia when he was about 6 years of age. My parents decided they'd look after him, and he's still in Australia now. His name was Gumine, named after the old man from Boromir.
The guy that gave you that piece of land.
That's correct, yes.
So, okay.
How did you, during the time when you were into veggies, after you left the district service and you cultivated veggies to sell in Goroka, was the market big or?
I finally ended up giving it up because people weren't interested in paying for the air freight from Pople to Goroka. There was a plentiful supply of veggies in Goroka. The stuff I grew was very good. Cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, tomatoes, but they could get it without having to pay the air freight.
From the other interviewees that I have interviewed, one of them said he's from Gumine. I forgot his name, but he said he worked with you up there at Boromir in your coffee. Said he was like buying coffee,
Yeah,
working under you, buying coffee. A guy from Gumine.
a guy from Gumine.
Yeah.
Sorry, as I say, 40 years ago is a long time.
Yeah.
So at that time, the only form of transport was airplane, right?
Initially, when I first went in there, but
So that's the whole airstrip at Omkolai High School, or is that the airstrip?
Yeah. That very steep one.
13%.
What, 13%?
Steep.
That was the slope on
Slope.
Pople airstrip. Planes pulled up very quickly after landing, and they took off pretty quickly, going downhill.
How did you find the culture of people there when you first went up there?
I was quite interested in finding out what I could about their culture, but Gumine Station hadn't long been opened. The people weren't as forthcoming as they were later on. I tried to understand what I could about their culture because it's very important in courtroom and things like that.
So what was your age when you came to Gumine?
Probably about 28 years of age, 27, 28.
When you first came to PNG and Gumine?
When I first came to PNG, I was 20 years of age.
So, okay.
I turned 21 in Moresby.
In Mosby.
So, you came through Goroga. When you were at Mosby, you came to Goroga, or
From Moresby, I went to the Western Province. I was in the Western Province for 2 years. Then I did a year's course down to the Soper in Australia, and I was posted back to Lygum. From Lygum to Jimmy River, both in the Western Highlands. Lygum's now in the Inga Province, and those years was the Western Highlands. Then I was posted to Kainantu, did a short stint at Warranara, then I was posted to Henganofi, from Henganofi to Gumine. And it was at Gumine that I resigned as a patrol officer, assistant district officer, whatever it was in those days, and became a member of the House, and I represented Gumine in the House Assembly for 4 years. When my term finished in 1968, the people asked me to stand again, but I honoured my promise that I would never stand again for Gumine. But I did stand for the regional elected for Chimbu. There were 3 of us stood, and I didn't win. I came second, but seconds don't count. But it was interesting to see the votes, because when I stood for Gumine, I was elected, I had 7,700 votes, and in Kamaboma I had 2,200. When I stood for the regional, I forget exactly how many I had, but the votes I did get were 12,000 out of Gumine, and my oppositions received hundreds. But Eric Pine was elected as the member for the Chimbu region.
so when you came through Enganopi, you came to track, or was there road before? Was there road or
Where?
through track when you came through
From
Enganopi to Gumine?
Like
Was there road or a track?
No, there was a road there. The road was formed. The road had been through to Gumine before, but the Murrell River Bridge had collapsed. It was a matter of repairing it. And of course there were landslides all along when the road wasn't being used.
So that means that the road is established before you went to
Yeah.
Gumine.
It had been.
The Kalakuk book said it's 1945 that Gumine had contact with white men. But then,
I think the government station was formed there in 1948.
yeah,
I'm not quite certain. I think it might have been Dennis Faithful.
I'm leaning more towards you, because there's in the archives, we've done some research at the archives, and the archives stated clearly that between 1948, 48 towards 50, 50, 48, 49, between this time we made contact with white men. But this book,
They probably had contact with the first white man in the late 30s, or middle to late 30s.
why do you have to say this?
Well, that's when white men first went into what's now called the Simbu province. They moved through there, but Gumine was to the south, and most of the contact was through Kundiara and Karawagi, leading up into the Wadi Valley. There wasn't a lot of contact to the south of Gumine, but there were people going through there.
So I think the better place to get the exact information would be like religion, church, SDAs or the Catholics. So, excuse me. I think they were there before the administration went in, government officials went in.
The Catholics were certainly in there. There were 7 days. There were 2 people doing linguistics in there at the time. Gordon Bunn was one of them. He was at Moore.
Bill's place,
Yeah.
Nikamabongai's place.
Yeah. And there was another bloke called Irwin in there, I've forgotten his name. They were both with the SIL. They would have a lot of information.
You were Gordon Barnes contact?
No. But SIL.
He's in Sydney. He's in Sydney. somewhere in Sydney. Graham should find out about this, but
Movie star. Hey?
And
That's going to happen all the time from now on.
when somebody died in the village, have you ever went to the Ascari or
Oh yes.
funeral? How was it?
What do you mean? It was a very sad experience. Everyone was very emotional. They lost one of their loved ones. And they were all upset.
you've been through other places of Papua New Guinea before you went to Gumine. You've spent some good number of years in these places like Western Province and Eastern Islands. So comparing their culture to Gumine's, how do you see Gumine?
Well, Gumine was different, of course. There's so many different cultures in Papua New Guinea that it's not funny. It was a different culture. Not vastly dissimilar to some other areas. I had spent time in the year. It was different. Not quite the same.
When from the transition period from the two roots, the Luluwais, these other guys in the past, these are leaders. They were leaders, so the colonial administration upon their presentation and stuff like this in the representing their group to talk, they gave them Tutu Luluwais, and then the transition from Tutu Luluwai to council and to the national government. Are you still familiar with it, or how things have changed?
When I first went to Gumine, there was the Luluwai Tultul system in force. Some of the people I've already mentioned, Kuman Dai,
Old Dai.
He was a very well-respected Luluwai. There was a Luluwai Milkari from Onkalai, who was also very respected. Old man Kumini up at Boromel was also a very well-respected man, not only within their own clans, but respected by other clans as well. Very influential people, and I was very lucky to have the support of those three people. In 1965, the new Kiab had been instructed to form a council. So the first Gumine Council was formed in 1965. I was elected as vice president of that council. Wakari was elected as the chairman, the president of that council.
Nilkara or Kuman?
Pardon?
Nilkara or Kuman?
Wakari.
Okay.
Wakari was the
1963.
first president.
63.
65.
65.
Could have been 64.
Okay.
Right about the time, 64, 65. I suppose everyone's looking at this will wonder, well, as a member of the House of Assembly, what good did you achieve for your electorate? I can't say that really I did much, because the system then was vastly different. All the money was controlled by the government. There was no money controlled by politicians. There were no grants to politicians. The only thing I can feel happy about was that the road development continued. The schools were upgraded and increased, and aid posts received their medicines on time. I can't take full credit for that because it was government, but I certainly helped the government as much as I could to secure stuff. If the government had any problems, they gave it to me, and I went down to Moresby, and rather than get it through the medium of the House Assembly, I would go around and visit government offices and get what I could from them. And most of the development was done by talking to people and working it out that way, rather than through making speeches on the floor of the House. speech of any moment that I made in the House that did any good was one where I called the attention of the government to the fact that all announcements at the airports were given in English, and this was not very fair to the travelling public, and I made a plea to them, which was acted upon, that in future all broadcasts at the airport should also be in pidgin, and that's still in force today, because that had nothing to do with Gumine.
Have you ever to learn the language, the Gumine language?
I can understand a lot of it, speak a little bit of it, but nowadays no. Iwai milio. That's about it.
Yes.
You have any plans of going back to Gumine?
No, not at this stage. I'm married to a lady from the Milne Bay area. I don't think she'd.
So the land, but the land that Gumine gave it to you, it's still there, it's your land?
Yeah.
Or they've taken over it?
No, it's still there. My son has plans for going back there and developing it. And he and I are talking about that together.
And the Boromils are aware of this?
Sorry?
The Boromil people, the Kaolakus are aware of this?
Oh yes.
They say that that's your land, so...
Yes, they still keep it for us.
It would be very nice if the son could come back to that land.
Oh, he's very keen. Yeah, no,
And
I think we better
Yeah.
finish up.
Yeah.
And,
Other people coming in.
and do you have any regrets that you can think of? Any regrets? Oh.
I do have regrets. I enjoyed my time with Gumine. Unfortunately, the money wasn't there, and I had an ever-increasing family to look after, and I had to go and seek other employment.
And do you think of other people that we can actually interview like this?
Well, the two I've mentioned,
Some other contacts.
Yeah.
Gordon Dunn. You should talk to Noel Levy if you get a chance.
Noel.
Levy.
Levy.
Where is he from?
He's from New Ireland. He spent about 7 or 8 years in Fiji as the PNG representative, government representative over there.
You know, no Levy's contact.
I've got it up in my room.
I'll give you a call sometime and probably have this.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time.
Gentlemen, if you think of something later on that you'd like to ask me,
Yeah.
please. You've got my card, so you can call me at any time.
Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Good meeting you. Yeah.
Okay. Let's not just let it die here. We'll meet again.
Yes.
Thank you.